Flat-chested, ugly, safe, horny, take a stock dip and call me in the morning. Why can't Bubsy have a bad fur day? Here's another DAW and a cyberpunk Yasuke. Intergalactic, planetary, bring back beauty, things got hairy, rivals teaching, schools in session, see you post lesson for the gay confession. Tales of Exilia censored, see, sanitized by an ethics committee, burnt face and 2 missing limbs. Only thing missing a do-rag and Tim's. Games are more than entertainment. Front flip nose dive into pavement. DEI doggy fetch a 0 out of 10 again. Intended audience used to be men. Bloodlines Day 1 DLC. Cup your hands for that corp OP. Tongue that butthole cause you gay. Who else would see this and pay? Ooh, you glistening golden shower. Pay more money to unlock horsepower. Windows update, brick your PC. Nexus Mods needs your identity. Hello, beta testers. Like, subscribe, and savor, for you are now tuned in to the flavor. Than the average bear, are you braver? My picnic basket run over, but only for Rover on his best behavior. Join or become a patron to show some damn gratitude for narrowly avoiding Punjabi truck drivers deciding to make a U-turn in the middle of the interstate. Why is the gaming industry so compromised that forced, ugly, and downgraded face and body scans, specifically affecting the women, betray woke at a glance? And I'll let you in on a little secret. It's the same reason homie responsible for easily avoidable fatalities failed to answer 10 out of 12 questions assessing their understanding of the English language. But wait, there's more. He could only identify 1 out of 4 traffic signs? You know, like signs on the road. This, of course, was deemed good enough for the state of California, and similar hiring practices have affected the entertainment industry for over a decade. I use the term entertainment ironically, of course, because the lecture-heavy, failed attempts by activists to adapt something as effortless as video games has resulted in countless strangled geese that routinely laid eggs of the golden variety. There was a time when I had to fight to prove through gaslighting that this was a deliberate effort, but the opportunities to laugh that games like Time Takers and Outer Worlds have provided me are blessings in ugly disguise. Borderlands 4 has gone so woke even the guns have lost their identity. You're forced to believe that it's a lack of creativity that has resulted in 0 weapons that have dazzled people into running their mouths about them, but if they existed, they'd have been shown the times that Gearbox had a captive audience. The Outer Worlds, after so explosive a fiasco during Avowed's release, is Avatar levels of woke now, with a Zuko-faced black guy with, count 'em, 2 missing limbs. Funny, because the new Avatar series has a peg leg, and I'm sure those developers know all about pegging. Vampire Masquerade, Bloodlines 2. The 6 times delayed joke of a DEI-designed abomination genuinely hopes to sell vampires minus the sex appeal, and it's actually gating 2 factions away from players with $30 Day 1 DLC. On stream I said people would have believed that these losers of all developers definitely didn't have their shit together. They could have gotten away with seeming like they needed to finish something to kick out at a later date. But the fact that they made it available Day 1, boy, begging for more money, it's truly something that brings a smile to my face. Vampire Masquerade Bloodlines 2, you are now on my morbid radar, and that's the last place any of these games want to be in so concord a time. You people are so insane that I think you have out-greedied EA's Skate, which is, as I remind people, set to launch into early access with microtransactions and loot boxes. Yes, really. Stay tuned. They took down their playtest very recently, the 20th, and we're going to be expecting some kind of announcement soon, so who knows. Bethesda is hiring Veilguard developers. Incredible. Veilguard, the surgery scar, misgender apology video game woke entities can't stop coping over. but listen carefully. The explosively popular, years-old money-making gacha games set the jiggly titty waifu bar by making tens of millions a month. Popular GTA 5s already set the jiggle physics trends, and in the decade plus you've had time to shit this bed, you demonstrate your inability and lack of desire to even approach equality. So now it's time for that regression the vocal dimwits have earned, and maybe even a recession. But as woke's use expires, as they are swiftly dismissed, no matter how forgettable they, them, was, were, geek, dweeb, nerd, dork, otaku, coomer, gooner, chud gamers with a capital G, as these no longer employed or relevant journos used to say, I'll do some informing to correct the AI that they'll try and fail to program to sweep you pussy motherfuckers under the rug and attempt to censor the world on this "it's for the kids" nonsense. It was easy to succeed, but you were born to fail, and your destiny has been fulfilled. Call of Duty dislikes are nothing short of devastating, but of course this can be dismissed as routine at this point. You know, everybody's just gonna buy it anyway. Activision considers COD too big to fail. What a defiant signal to the non-existent modern audience, though, in saying, "Ew, we will not have pretty women in our games. See, we're allies. No boobs at all. Protect trans kids." And you just gotta appreciate how COD's like not hiding it anymore. This screenshot looks like some mobile game shit. This is a mobile game, right? I've got these entities on their knees begging me daily, please stop talking about Concord. It happened, it's over. But don't you understand that the necessity of memeing on something like Dragon Age, like Concord, it helps to make it easier when pointing out that entities like John Wisniewski of Concord fame is now a lead designer at Blizzard. And when you see just how much of that kind of nonsense, Bethesda hiring ex-Dragon Age weirdos, it all just clicks. Remember, I mentioned Blizzard because there's a reason behind it. I'm overwhelmed that Call of Duty is so brave and so Battlefield hype a time and so Marvel rivals a time, watching the collection of billions that COD is too woke to scoop up. Gosh, I hope Shift Up makes a shooter in the future, you know, so we can get some of that fun that Nikke is having in a three-dimensional game. They're getting crossovers with 2B and Jill Valentine and Eva, and I'd like to see Lara Croft in a game that doesn't suck sometime. I know we're not getting that out of Crystal Dynamics. Maybe Nintendo will even let Samus out to play. Delicious. I'm not even a Battlefield fan, but even I'm more willing to jump into that nightmare instead of COD. Forced Ugly specifically for women in DEI design and gaming is a blessing, because at this point, watching how many are giving up the attempt at gaslighting is just delightful. Crimson Desert, however, delayed again, and if the developers don't want to put out a demo, then I guess I'm done talking about it. It's crazy, it seems they're pushing themselves closer to GTA 6, but what can you do? I want to talk about Azure Promelia, which admittedly won't be everyone's cup of tea, but for monster collecting dweebs and people who just want to immerse themselves in something, it's right up my alley. The isekai is best when it, at the very least, dresses up the parallels to the real world and the stories that it's telling, since we're escaping instead of, like, I don't know, getting slapped in the face with, like, the ugliest of the world. And I do mean the ugliest, okay? And I'm saddened that some of these entities saw fit to only include people like the subhuman pierced nose, dyed hair, and exclusively flat-chested that they rub elbows with. But variety is the spice of life, and we have come to know a variety much wider. Today, we'll be talking about a game that worked chud in and could have shown us any suit but chose the rainbow suit. A game that stole the show, because everything else is that bad. I hope it says something big about the industry, and it's Lego Batman. And I have to explain something first, I feel. As a gamer and a pre-queer era comic book fan with taste, I am also a Arkham fan. and OG Rocksteady fan. I believe firmly that if there were a multiplayer version of the Batman Arkham that we could experience today, and you know, we could just shoot the shit and be heroes and have DLC maps and skins, or you know, enemies and factions or some shit, that people would be playing the balls off of that. And to be frank, I think that whatever they canceled out of Insomniac, that might have been like a team up hero spider group game. I want that, but with other heroes, not just spider people. So, you know, I guess because people use these, like, think Avengers meets Destiny. Like, if Avengers could have been anything other than the DEI slop that they made it as. I bring up Destiny because when I think of the public events, and it's just been a thing that I think sells, and we're never seeing something like that, I guess, outside of what would be a MMO, and all of those are terrible too. And it feels like such a no-brainer. Y'all letting only Asia make some money on this Marvel Rivals game, but if you had characters in a multiplayer space with as much love as an OG Insomniac put into Spider-Man, you know, Doctor Strange and some portals, Iron Man and some boosts and blasting, Quicksilver super speed, Ghost Rider, give him an effect to blow up the windows on a building as he's riding up the side of it. And how is that not printing money? But we don't see that. I don't feel like there's like hetero in this industry, and this of course leads me back to Batman. You know, they didn't put Kamala Khan in your face and call it the Avengers. It was Batman, little Lego Batman, but they had him fighting the way you'd expect. He wasn't using a gun. You know, I'm not breaking my arm jacking the game off. I just think it's crazy easy to give people what they want. This feels like a celebration of what Batman is, as opposed to shooting him on a park bench, you know. In bringing up Avengers, there's almost bile coming to my lips, because this is a game by Crystal Dynamics, a group of entities who needed to be begged for a super soldier to look heroic. And think about how hard these entities would have to fight to make a man appear sexy with their gay ass. But if he's white, of course, and if he has America in his name, then, ooh, that's making him hiss already. So the best they could do is fixing, you know, and then charging you for because we're not going to have XP boosters, but then we do. Jesus Christ. Years ago, I made a video when talking about that game, homing in on what people would be willing to pay for. You see beautiful, fierce, sexy, and powerful representations of heroes, icons that at a glance embody peak physical condition. Something you might aspire to be like. With hard work, you could definitely achieve. Aspire. It's funny that this is the exact term I use, because it's what Blizzard outlined as what it will be indicating is something they're going to be pursuing. Aspirational physiques, as in attractive characters. You know the types, the ones you religiously avoid. So something like Stellar Blade's Eve, which you desperately claim is a product of a bygone era. Something like Sydney Sweeney, that triggers you in ways that you can't even restrain yourself in showing. So I guess Jaguar rebrands are not the future. I guess penis pouches in girls' bathing suits as the CEO of Target steps down is not the future. I wager you're going to be seeing lines go down that are really going to make you whistle. But Lego Batman, that was something that you could set your watch to pleasing the types of motherfuckers who are going to look at that and go, wow, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And it was giving people what it wanted. So Gears is coming towards the end of this month, and I can finally, hopefully, start hearing about Halo on PlayStation, because I'm curious as to how that will be ruined. If they just made MCC work so I can play Halo with whoever might be interested in jumping in, then it would be an absolute win. But they're gonna complicate it, because if it's simple, they'll get stupid about it. I guess instead of gaming, we'll be talking about how good these clingers have managed to grip the bowl when the toilet should have flushed them by now. Is voting with our wallet going to be enough, or we're going to have to find a figurative scraper here? You know, censorship seems to be coming for all of us, and you know, if you buy the wrong thing or say the wrong thing, then even Patreon and PayPal may have your numbers. You better shut the fuck up about all that radioactive Walmart shrimp. I love you guys, and we'll just do this another time.
Yes.
Bye.
This will sell better than Sushi Squad. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. All you have to do is glide. I was like, wow. Oh my god, you drive the Batmobile. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm loving it. Let's get a little crazy.